Intimacy has been different, at least the first few days. Not now, but at first it was really weird. It seemed like an alien event, and it just felt scary or something. Like I was almost having almost traumatic sort of flashes to like thinking about having a miscarriage, which was barely a miscarriage. But I have to acknowledge how you feel. I think that's the thing that I've learned in this is, number one, you can't control what your body does. You just have to take care of yourself. And especially, you look at all the research, it is, you can't control, in most cases, a first trimester miscarriage. And mine was barely even a first trimester miscarriage. Your body is just doing what it needs to do. And I have to believe in that. I have to believe in that and trust that. So if this is happening to you, or if it's ever happened to you, you have to believe in that and trust that too, that your body knows what the best thing is. But it's been interesting sort of recovering, where we're trying to decide, should we try again next month? We've done a lot of research just to decide on, if we decide to try again next month, if it's actually going to be safe. For example, has my body healed? I feel fully healed. I felt fully healed after my period, sort of miscarriage was over, because it was pretty much just that. If I hadn't been so anally tracking my cycle and everything, and if, like I explained in one of the previous videos, that I have a really short luteal phase, it would have only been day 16 that my period started. And for an average woman, that's just a 2-day late period. And for some women, that's like right on par. So if I hadn't been anally tracking that and understanding my fertility for about a year, I wouldn't even have noticed. I would have noticed the changes, and I really believe I would have been able to tell, but I wouldn't have known for sure. And that's the argument for how that happens in a lot of cases with women, is that they don't know, because it's it happened so early on, you never are aware. So many women might have had it happen without knowing. But we're still, trying to decide if we want to try for next month, which would theoretically be in like a week and a half if I ovulate on schedule, with this last sort of period I had being considered a real period. If we go 14 days or 16 days from that, it would be soon. So that's where we are now. All the research we can find, there's almost no scientific research on chemical pregnancies. It's mostly on first trimester, spontaneous abortions, they call it, or miscarriages. If you hear noises in the background, it's my dog chasing flies. So there's a lot of information missing when you look that kind of thing up. And so we were speculating that because there's a lot of information missing about chemical pregnancy, loss, and like aftermath, it's because it isn't really a big deal physically. Obviously, your body can recover. Your body's good at that. Of course, it's a big deal emotionally, psychologically, depending on how you feel about it. And so that's one of the biggest considerations to think about. But some of the studies we found were talking about first trimester miscarriages, so from 0 months to 3 months approximately. And interestingly, when like the classic recommendation of doctors is to say wait a few months after you have a miscarriage to get pregnant again. And it was super interesting because one study we found, women that got pregnant again 0 to 6 months after had better rates of like carrying the child through to term than women that got pregnant like after 6 months after. It was really surprising. And I was thinking that at least with a later first trimester miscarriage, it would be, you should wait longer because the baby has been in there, the placenta's been functioning, it's been using your nutrients, it's been using your body. But I think one of the thoughts the researchers had was, it means your body's ready to go. Like your body has got it down, all of the equipment is working, so it's ready to try again, which makes sense. And then another study we found said that the 0 to 3 months after a first trimester miscarriage is even more optimal. So they actually looked at a more detailed window of time, which I think is really interesting. And since mine doesn't even count as a miscarriage by some medical standards, it counts as a chemical pregnancy because the baby never attached. There was never a placenta that actually really locked in there and started getting nutrients. It just attempted. Then I won't have any nutrient loss or anything like that. So it's really just about if I feel okay. If I feel physically fine. I do feel physically fine. I feel physically different. I think I'm still maybe hormonal a little bit, or maybe I'm just grieving. It's hard to tell the difference. And since those can affect each other, grief can affect hormones, hormones can affect grief, you never know. But overall, I feel really good. But today I just have kind of had a downtime. But overall, I feel really good, and I feel optimistic about believing that my body can do it. It can conceive, and it was sort of a necessary cleansing of my system, and it just wasn't meant to be. So that's kind of where I am now. We'll see. We've done a lot of research about nutrition. I've mentioned that before, and really being careful about what goes in my body and, you know, all that stuff. Now I just have to control what I think, because that can stress you so much. I just need to just be relaxed about it. So if we do try again this next cycle, I'll update you. It's going to be a little more lax. It's going to be a little more go with the flow, because I'm not generally a go with the flow person. I'm not a strictly controlled person, but I really like to document and know things and chart it and look, and then so you can look back and say, oh, look at this. This is when we conceived. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm not going to take an ovulation test. And we actually ran out of those last time, so it's kind of cool. It's kind of fateful. And this time I'm not going to take a pregnancy test until I'm many weeks past, because I don't want to get my hopes up. And I'm going to know, I just can tell. I'm going to know if I'm pregnant or not. And if it stops, just like this last time, I don't want to pee on the stick and wait for the pink line over and over and over again, hoping it'll get darker. I just want to pee on the stick 3 weeks in and get a dark line and be like, okay, I feel different. I feel ready. You know, I could change my mind, but that's how I feel right now. So if you've had an experience like this, or if this video has helped you at all kind of work through some of your feelings about a chemical pregnancy loss, or just any pregnancy loss you've had, send me a message. Send me a message. That'd be great. Comment on the video. So yeah, this month is actually Pregnancy Awareness Loss Month, which I think is really bizarre. Not bizarre, the month being a thing, but bizarre that this happened to me my first try during this time. I didn't even know that that was a thing until now. And I think that's the issue, is people don't know what month celebrates or looks to, you know, focus on pregnancy loss until it happens to them, and then they become aware of it. So I just want you to know, if you've had a pregnancy loss, I feel you, even though I don't feel you as deeply as I would if I had a later loss, but I understand now how tough it can be, even though I'm sure it's just a slight bit as tough what I'm experiencing as other people do. I know that they experience much worse, much harder to deal with things. But on the bright side, we had a mama pig have 6 babies, all healthy. She had no stillborns a few days ago, and I had really mixed feelings about that. It was strange. I now feel like I have a physical response to babies and birth that I didn't before, which is kind of cool, but kind of scary and kind of overwhelming. And I guess a little window into what motherhood is, like a little window into what motherhood is. So if you're watching, send me some good energy if you can, whether we try this month or just some other time. And I'm sending you good energy, wherever you are, whatever you're feeling. Just know that I'm here. And if you want to talk, you can always comment on the video, or you can email too. It's ourbirthway@gmail.com. That's my email for my doula business. So feel free to do that. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. And I hope that this made you feel a little bit like we're in community together, because we are. And I believe in you. And I believe in me and my body. So believe in your body too. Thanks. Hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you in about a week with an update on how I'm feeling. Bye.